extinction level asteroid. Impact smashing noise. Born in the blackest void. He talks shit, he ain't know who he's facing. I cheese grade him, I get savage, that's the TNathan. No patience like they shut down the hospital. Wins against me, it's not possible, not probable. Man, it's all illogical. I've been sick. This shit is chronicle. Hands behold them. The face shows how we hold them. Y'all keep making noise trying to get noticed. Y'all can't see me. You got no focus. I show up, they disappear. Hocus pocus for no respect. When your paws come to sweat. When I call on, already from 41 select. Target select. Target acquisition. When them shells rain down, you look like a bad car collision. Come get it, come with it. I beat them into submission or play it safe and hit them from some distance. Long range, close range, however I deliver. Shit you're gonna remember. I go for kill shots, not to injure. Man, these bars got no hold. Show them how to use the flow. Man, you can't move the flow. They stay pissed off, cause I'm pissed hard. I launch rocket raccoons down to lift off.
Listen, hit them with my missile, blow they spaceship the fuck up, decapitate, Russian sick. Ravish and rock rude. Disrespectful nigga, haka loopy, opinion food. Shit. Far from a small fry. Knuckle up, two black guys from black guys. Listen, man. Bust flames I don't miss. No game long range, turn your dome to red. Miss P. People on TikTok face to face with rock talk shit, you get knocked out. David. Conservative static. Sight picture bust rounds hunt season, you silly rabbit. Tricks for king. Act bananas, I will kill you when I step across city blocks, candy rock, Godzilla. Face me, face the feet, in feet, hands and feet, turn your face to mince meat. Listen, yo, I'm not no hero. Forward, down, forward, high punch, grab spine, sub-zero. Can't forget about Robbie, have him run into the cops crying, Brock just rocked. Dang, pussy. Street fighter with black fists, KO uppercut, bitch nigga.
All you can. Greetings, salutations, welcome to Conversation with TNathan on, what day is this? The 23rd? Yeah. On July the 23rd, 2024. I am your host of this podcast radio show, TNathan Fairley. And if you're listening to me in GCPR network land, thank you for joining. If you are across my social medias, thank you for joining also. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Salutations. So, here we are. Last night, I know we went in depth into the video concerning the shooting, the murder of Asanya Massey, and we played it at every angle. We showed the pot was actually turned on its side. We showed her on her knees when she dropped down, and when he did shoot her in the face, when he shot her in the face like he said he was going to do. And before we get into tonight's comp, and people coming out talking about she threw the pot, she must have threw an empty pot, or it had the cold water she was running in it after she poured the hot water out. But hey, not surprised. I'm not surprised that people are defending the heinous acts of the police in this obvious murder. But it's the thing we see that always comes up, that we always talk about the history of the victim, but how many police departments had he been let go from? How many police departments, and him, I'm talking about Sean Grayson, the murderer in this case. Yeah, the murderer. How many police departments had he been let go from before he found himself in Sangamon, Illinois, murdering a mother in her own home? Yeah, that's fair game. And of course, I will follow this through. I will. I have been tried to draft Nick to take me to Springfield, Illinois, And this is what it is. Not only have I tried to draft him, I want him to come get me, and then we go to Springfield, Illinois, because what's like traveling 2 hours out of your way to drive somebody who doesn't drive 4 hours to Springfield, Illinois, just so we can protest. But I really want to walk around her neighborhood. I want to walk around the neighborhood that she lived in. I want to bring you all live footage from there. So if y'all know Metal Melter, right? I want you all to harass him and tell him he needs to come pick up TNathan and take him to Springfield, Illinois. Yeah, like that works, right? Yeah, and if he on TikTok, it's Metal Melter. As a matter of fact, if you're in my main chat room, he's in there. So I need you all to tell him, hey, I need you to go take TNathan to Springfield, Illinois, ASAP. No, I want to, but seriously, I want to see the environment. I want you all to see it for yourself because that's one of the things I always tried to bring. Like when we went to Ralph Yarl's, where Ralph Yarl was shot, and the trial for Andrew Lester, the 84-year-old man who shot Ralph Yarl for ringing his doorbell, is scheduled for October. It's scheduled for October, and I will be there. So we will be covering that also. But hey, it is what it is. How far is it? Nick, I think Nick said like 4 hours from him, but Nick is like 2 hours, I think, from me. I don't know. And then it's like 3 hours from me, and I probably have to pay for gas. Yeah. So yeah, y'all hit the cash app up so I can pay for gas. But anyway, we're gonna go. I'm gonna get these pictures, and I'm gonna go do this anyway. So whatever. Because these are defining moments. These are defining moments. TNathan to Illinois. Yeah, and I have to. And Nick is gonna drive because Nick is short, white, and got a valid driver's license. Yeah, so he's the driver, and that's what we're sticking to. You know what? If I find out a date I was going to be there, if you all want to, but I want to. I don't want to be too invasive in her neighborhood, but I do want to walk around the neighborhood and go live and let you all see the neighborhood. I think that's important. I think that's important that we see the community from a point of view that just is not always just news footage, because we know we are seeing Sonya Massey in her moment of death. We're seeing her neighborhood in its grief and its tragedy. But I want to see what they took from the neighborhood. I want to talk to people there and see how it has impacted them. Because we never, we never understand. And I, a long time ago, had told people to stop saying justice for these people that are dead. That's not how justice works. I know people follow people down that road, justice for Sonya Massey. There is no justice for the dead. She's not going to be any more alive if he's found guilty. No, this is about hmm, hmm, Ella Baker. Ella Baker said, until the death of white mother's sons. And when she said that, she said this in 1963. When she talks about until America feels the death of black mother's sons, the same way they feel the deaths of white mother's son, then justice does not exist. There is no such thing as justice. Justice is about preventing this from happening. So we can't, she can't have, was it just in alive with her cousin? All right. Um, that's the thing. We can't get justice for those who have become the victims of an unjust system. The only way is to dismantle a system of injustice. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about the election, what's happening, what has transpired, and a little of my, we'll get into it. But I want to say this before I start. And I'm talking to minorities and black people that are out here talking about the Kamala Harris and how they're not going to vote for her, or people that are talking about I'm not voting for a black woman. If that's not you, don't worry about it. I'm not talking to you. But here's the thing. We have voted for the lesser of two evils ever since the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Women, you all have voted for the lesser of two evils ever since 1920. And now, all of a sudden, you all find some moral background, a moral fiber. And when the lesser of two evils is a black woman, all of a sudden you want to talk about why you're not voting this year. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, if you want to have a discussion of policy, you should have been out here with me in 2020, 2016. You should have been out here when I was thrown off of the steps of the Supreme Court. You should have been out here with me when I was being tear gassed in Washington, D.C. You should have been out here with me when we were trying to save a mother's son from death row. You could have been out here with me anytime in the last 20 years. But you what? You swap when I was screaming about South Carolina and the nomination of Joe Biden, you all were like, it's the lesser of two evils. That's what we said. When we rallied against Trump, Joe Biden, I am actually impacted directly by the 94 crime bill. But it was the lesser of two evils, right? It was a lesser of two evils. And I rode with you all, thinking you all would do what you said you were going to do, and we were going to work to change the system before this time. But you left us out here basically alone, screaming, and you all were comfortable at home. And now all of a sudden, you have decided that, oh, I can't vote for Kamala Harris because, as a prosecutor, you can't spell prosecutor. And it amazes me that all of a sudden, what she did as a prosecutor is impacting you so greatly. When it didn't impact you greatly when I was talking about it during the primary of 2019. But all of a sudden now, you have this moral qualm that you want us to believe is rooted in something besides the fact that she's a black woman. Because it's funny to me that I can listen to you all talk about her record. Well, you don't even know her record. And it's easy for me to do that because I know her record. I know the things I have a problem with. I know the policies I have a problem with. I know the ones I don't have a problem with. But I'm listening to people out here. I don't like prosecutors either. But at the end of the day, we're not talking about options. We're talking about the lesser of two evils, right? Because anything else is disingenuous. Anything else is disingenuous. All of a sudden, you have a man on the other side of this equation that has shown you what he thinks about minorities, what he thinks about how he's going to run things. And all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is the problem. You sound like some weak ass bitches to me. Because at the end of the day, articulate. If you want to have a policy discussion with me, fine. But I'm going to have the same policy discussion with you when I say, I've been asking MAGA supporters to name me a policy that Donald Trump has penned in his entire life. And I'm still waiting for an answer. I'm still waiting for an answer. But now, is it the lesser of two evils? Of course it is. But now that the lesser of two evils is a black woman, and all of you all out here, was she not truly black? Shut the fuck up. Don Harris is a black man. Don, let this ring through you, right? Not only did she attend an historical HBCU, she pledged AKA. You think her sister's not going to be out here voting for her? Then I get these videos. We don't claim her. Who is this we you talking about? Who is this we? That's what I want to know. Who is this we? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I didn't like Kamala Harris' position in the primaries. But you know what I always defended? Black womanhood. You wasn't going to talk about Kamala Harris and degrade black womanhood because you're a misogynist racist or you're a misogynist rocket raccoon. Like I say, if you have a policy point, talk to me about that policy point, because I can guarantee you most of you all haven't researched the policy point what you're talking about. And you're gonna say, well, as an attorney general of the state, she did this. As attorney general of the state, I say y'all don't really know what an attorney general position is as an elected official. They are the top prosecutor in the state. So why do I expect? And this is coming from somebody who has served time, who has run afoul of attorney generals in 2 states, personally run afoul of them, and I know who they are. So unless I missed the idea that a public defender was running for president of the United States, I know who they are. I know who they are. So that can't be the problem, because there have been other attorney generals that have run for office. There have been other candidates that I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna do a whole video about the things and the policies she's implemented, like the similar to the Second Chance Act in California. I'm also gonna. I had to straighten some person today on trying to associate her with Oscar Grant's case. You all know Oscar Grant from Futon Station that was shot in 2009. What's the guy's name? Michael B. Fox. Michael B. Jordan played him in the movie Futon Station. Tried to say she was the attorney general at the time. No, he said she was the district attorney at the time. No, she wasn't. These are coming from people who don't know that San Francisco, the Bay Area, includes 9 other counties besides San Francisco County. They don't know that. That's how stupid people are. That they don't know most large cities like San Francisco cover more than 1 county, and they have more and each county has its own district attorney. And once you point out that Tom Orlott was the district attorney, then they like, oh, I didn't know that. How do you didn't know it? How do you didn't know it? Yeah. Michael B. Fox. I think that was Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. I know I mess up, right? But I got the B right. I got the B right. Michael B. Fox. Yeah. Back to the Futon Station. um, I feel bad for you. Who feels bad for me? Who feels bad for me and why? I'll bite. I'll bite. Who feels bad for me and why? Because I cuss and I fight, and I don't mind who I knock out. So get to feeling bad. But at the end of the day, I do. Hello? Hello? Greetings and salutations, everyone who just joining me. And for those who are new here, my name is TNathan Farrell. This is Conversations with TNathan. Let me give you the house rules. I cuss, I fuss, and I don't mind fighting. And I'm not talking about internet fight. See, this is the thing. I stand on what I say. I say it with my whole chest. I don't hide behind digital masks on social media. I show up and I show out. So unless you're going to show up and show out, I don't really give a fuck about what you're saying. I don't take constructive criticism from people who have constructed nothing. Yeah. You are in my presence because I allow it, or my moderators in this case allow it. So act accordingly, sit your ass down, or make a video about it. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. Google. Google is free. Google is free. So we get to this point where, like I say, their opposition is not rooted in facts. They're rooted in racism, misogyny. Yeah, either one of the two or both. Like today, when all these Republican senators and representatives going around talking about she was a DEI hire. Obviously, you don't know how DEI works. See, those are catchphrases. Those are catchphrases in this day and age. When you say DEI hire, you really want to say the N word. You really want to say the N word. Um, I don't, and I'm disappointed in BLM. I don't give a fuck. See, this is what I'm saying. People will say things like, I'm disappointed in BLM when I'm talking about something that doesn't have anything to do with BLM. And they will say this like, I give a fuck. You wasn't, look, you wasn't out there with us. I know I didn't see you in Minnesota because you would say, hey, I remember seeing you in Minnesota down by the police station. You didn't say that. I'm disappointed in BLM. There were people that were disappointed in the civil rights movement. They were called racist. Yeah. There were people who, when Dr. King was fighting for liberation, even in the way he fought for it, they were saying, well, y'all moving too fast. I don't give a fuck. See, that's the part you're missing. I don't accept what? Who in BLM called for? Okay, let me explain. Let me explain what BLM is. The Black Lives Matter movement is the movement. You're talking about the organization. See, there's a difference between organizations and movements. So I concur. There's a difference. Yeah, you better be more specific with me when you say something, because the Black Lives Matter movement is comprised of those of us who stood in protest to the abominable treatment of the police against unarmed black people. That's the movement. The organization is something totally different. So you all have to, yeah. So get that right. Get that right. Because you will get cussed out. Because I think of the movement. You need to clarify if you're talking about the organization. Now, having said that, back to my topic. So we get to this point where a lot of people, we've been, I know you're late here, Laddie, but last night, were you here last night when we dedicated the entire program to Sonia Massey and the video? Were you here last night? Were you here in the beginning of this when I said we're trying to get to Springfield, Illinois, so I can go through the neighborhood? You didn't hear that, so you just stumbled in and said, you heard me talk about hashtags and justice for that they don't do anything, right? And that justice for dead people is not real. Yeah, I see. That's what I want people to start doing. I want people, welcome to the show, welcome to the live, all that. But understand, I'm not like other creators just happy to have people following me. I was doing this when I didn't have any followers. I was, well, that's not really true. I wasn't here because I was, in the streets. I do this, but I'm in the streets most of the time during the day. That's why I have to have a talk show at 10 o'clock at night, because during the day we are doing things in the community. But yesterday we dedicated the whole show to Sonia Massey. As a matter of fact, I went over for an hour. We had a 2-hour show where we played both body cam footages and we broke them down frame by frame. And so and the videos on my page about it also. The videos on my page. But at the beginning of this, we also talked about going to Springfield, Illinois, to get more footage of the neighborhood. Yeah. But if you want to see the entire video, it is also on my YouTube page. That's also what I said, that the entire 36-minute video is on my YouTube page, and you can back it up, slow it down, look at it any way you would like, and you will see that Sean Grayson murdered Sonia Massey, that there was no hot water in that pot, and she actually ducked down when they pulled their guns on her and apologized for saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Whoa, there we go. I got moderator in here now, so y'all better watch out. But before my moderators get loose, understand that some of these people are new here and they don't know any better because they didn't take the time to go look at my content before they make some comments. So give them a warning, and then we'll act accordingly to depending on the statement. But when I get to it, I got to get to the fact that a lot of people are talking without talking facts. They are talking without talking facts. And you know me, if uh, regardless if I like you or not, I'm still going to talk facts because if I don't like you, I don't care what happens to you, but I can factually check you on why I don't like you. So when I get to these videos that I'm seeing and responding to, I'm responding to videos that attack Kamala Harris's black womanhood. I'm responding to those. If you want to have a discussion about some policy you don't like, I can have that discussion with you and still tell you at the end of the day, I could agree with you that that is a bad policy or a bad decision. But that doesn't change the fact that I don't know where this magic wand you got is coming from, but nobody else is getting to 270 between Donald Trump or Kamala Harris at this point. You can have your moral objections, but I have a movement to get to. And this movement is rooted in that I will be fighting on November 6th, no matter who is president elect on that day. I will be fighting on inauguration day for the same things I'm fighting for now, regardless of who is inaugurated. But the difference is, I think strategically, while some of you all think with your moral compass pointed towards some direction that has no reflection in the reality we live in, I think strategically, I think if I'm supporting the candidates that I believe are going to be the easiest to fight on November the 6th. That's it. At the end of the day, yeah. And that's what I say. All of a sudden, you all found your moral fiber backbone. Now there's a black woman is the lesser of two evils, and you want to talk about, well, this is the, you ain't been talking about this. And where were you all at in 2020, 2019? Where were you all at? Where were you all at? Because all of a sudden, you all will vote blue until the blue was a black woman. You all were willing to vote for Joe Biden with his head in a jar to keep Donald Trump from being in office. But now all of a sudden, you want to stop, take a minute, let's talk about it, let's review other candidates. Look, let me tell you something. The selection of Kamala Harris being endorsed by Joe Biden as he stepped down has energized the Democratic Party in a way it hasn't been energized in since the election of Barack Obama. Nobody was looking forward to this election. Nobody. You all talking about two men that had an approval rating in this country of 36% with no ceiling. Now you got my 21-year-old niece calling me excited. And she a Delta. You got people I'm running into now are excited about the possibilities. And you all are saying, well, look, no, it's not you all, because you all weren't paying attention to these same people when they telling you they wasn't voting for any candidate. But now you want to be like, let's take a moment. You know what Kamala Harris did while you all were talking about that? She showed you in 48 hours how to break records in fundraising for any presidential candidate in history. She showed you how, and I'm not talking about breaking records amongst large donors. I'm talking about small dollar amounts. She did that. She showed you how to get the 3,000 and I want to say two. I don't want to be wrong, but it's 3,000 plus delegates that signed on to make her the nominee at the August 19th convention in Chicago. And she only needed 1,976, but she got 3,003 of them in record time. You got all those people you were talking about, let's look at them, let's think about them, let's do this. They endorsed her. She did something that was falling apart 48 hours early. The Democratic Party was falling apart because of Joe Biden, because of all these arguments and all these people coming out. They didn't want Joe Biden to be the candidate, and you all were not listening to 70% of the registered voters. But in 48 hours, there's been a 180-degree turn. You have people that I was out here with in the spring excited. They were like, yeah, does this mean that everything she's ever done go away? Hell no. Hell no. But see, this is the difference. Kamala Harris is a politician that we know what we get. Donald Trump is a misogynistic narcissist with a racist background that surrounds himself with people that have an agenda that we see on permanent display. On display. So these are your choices. This is what you told me. When I signed on to join you Vote Blue motherfuckers in a year and a half ago, I told you when I joined you that I would do it your way this time. But if it fails, we're going to do it mine. And now some of y'all have the nerve to come to me and tell me about, well, let's talk about this. No, you will vote blue. You asked me to tone down my rhetoric because you say, look, there's a bigger evil. And I agreed with you. But now I didn't turn down my rhetoric where I wasn't going to critique you Democrats. Don't think that was the turn down. But I still would critique you all and still give the historical facts. But now you want to tell me, well, you were fine when it was an old white man being the savior. But now that there is a black woman who, and this is the thing that gets me about you all. You talk about experience, right? You try to cloak this argument and she doesn't have the experience. She doesn't have the experience. Somebody who worked in the district attorney's office in Alameda County from 1990 to 1998. Somebody who went on to work in the San Francisco County District Attorney's Office. Became the district attorney of San Francisco County. Went on to be elected to the attorney general of a state. Then was elected to serve in the United States Senate. And then spent the last 3.5 years as vice president of the United States. She has more experience than Barack Obama did when he got elected. She has more experience than most. As a matter of fact, I have to go back 4 or 5 presidents, not vice presidents, to get somebody with as much experience in government as Kamala Harris. So what do you mean when you tell me she doesn't have the experience? I'm listening. Tell me what you mean when you say she doesn't have the experience. Yeah, she doesn't have policy. She has policies you don't like. Okay, name them. Name one. I can name mine, but you name yours. Let me help you out. I didn't like the fact that the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill didn't define lynching, that it was used as an addendum to a hate crime. It wasn't even a good symbolic victory. Yeah, I didn't like that. I always think that black candidates and politicians can do more for the black community than they do. I always think that. I thought about Barack. I thinking about Kamala. I sure do. But at the end of the day, what does that have to do with the fact that at this moment, she's still the better candidate than Donald Trump? What is a woman? What is a woman? If you asking that question, that means you've never been with one. I don't know. I can't answer it. Because at the end of the day, I'm talking about politics and policies. And the policies and politics that impact women. Because I know I'm not a woman because I don't have the ability to bring forth life. I don't have that. I don't. Now, that's not the definition. But I'm not speaking on what womanhood is because I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can tell you what manhood is. I can tell you that because I speak from that point. I can't tell you what transgender people feel like, but I know they have the right to feel that. And I know they have the right to feel it in safety. And it doesn't bother me because manhood is not intimidated by anybody else's choice of hood. Nothing. Like I said, Kamala Harris has young people excited to vote. Therefore, she's already won. She has the people that actually were not going to vote talking to each other. I was on a call, I was on a Zoom call with 50, it must have been 53,000 black men. 53,000 black men. And I'm just listening because, you know, I get an invite because of who I am, but I didn't get a speaking engagement. But I'm listening to these black men. And I wish a lot of you all could have heard it because it was spectacular. The car sellers um, talking about how we're not going to let black women down this time. How we're not going to let black women. So you all always see these black men that always get the spotlight because they're the reason you choose the bear. But it was refreshing for me as a black man to see how many other black men felt the way I did. How many of us committed to defending black womanhood at all costs if you come for Kamala Harris on those levels? Yes, it was like the Zoom call that the women had. Yes. It was like the Zoom call that the women had. And I got there late because you know I was here, I was doing other things, but I got there late. But it was so refreshing to hear black men commit to standing up for black womanhood. If you want to attack Kamala Harris on policy, that's fine. We can have that back and forth as long as you take your ass to that poll and tell me you're still going to support her because the alternative means you don't care about our fight. I'm not telling you to vote for her because she's black, but you will not use because she is black as a reason to not vote for her. You will not use that she's a woman as a reason not to vote for her because I'm coming for your throat. Because if you're doing that, your misogyny is showing, your racism is showing. Like I say, you better preface it as a legitimate argument with me. Because at this point in the game, I see who a lot of people are now. I see. How can you say womanhood yet afraid to define what a woman actually is? I can say incel, and I know that's you. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me share something about men to you, right? And I'm talking about men, not little boys masquerading as men, not these little boys that haven't been near anything like vagina since they came out one, right? See, men stand in their own truth. Men are protectors. Men cherish. See, I can tell you all that. You know why? Because I'm a man. Yeah, I'm a man. I know what women have done for me. I know what women have done to me. And I cannot speak on who they are because that's their job. It's their job. I define what I like in my life by the outward appearance, the inward, the spiritual searching, and all that. I'm amazed. I'm gonna tell you what I'm amazed by. I'm amazed at anybody who can carry a life because I'm old school. I'm from that generation that honored and respected the sanctity of womanhood. We didn't have to be able to define it. I can't tell you the chemical composition of jet fuel, but I can see the effects. Yeah, I can tell you the effects, but I don't have to define it. I just know it when I see it. It's like Maya Angelou talks about, I must have gold, she must have oil fields in her backyard for the way she swishes when she walks. Yeah. I don't have to know how it happens. I don't have to know how it happens. So freedom is maintaining individuality. Yeah, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, I'm free to be part of a collective. Freedom is the ability to be part of a collective if I choose to. I'm collectively a black man. I'm collectively a black person in America. I'm collectively living on this planet with the rest of us. I'm collectively. Freedom is how I choose how we're going to navigate that. Not freedom to be an individual. That doesn't say anything. We're all individuals. We're all individuals. Regardless of what you think, we're all individuals. That's why we have narcissistic sociopaths. They're individuals. That's why we have anarchists. They're individuals. Anarchy is the very anti-theistic nature of freedom. I have the freedom to protect those who cannot protect themselves until they are able to, be they children, loved ones. I have the freedom. But when you impede on the freedom of the collective, then we have a problem. Because you all define freedom mostly, it's like I tell some people, do you understand I fight against oppression, period? Period. That's why I stand as a, I'm not an ally to anybody. If I stand with you, I'm an accomplice. If we need to break in somewhere, I'm plotting, I already came up with the plan. I'm an accomplice. So at the end of the day, you have to understand that sometimes you all use words and phrases that don't mean what you think they do. They don't. Because you have been conditioned. See, most of you all fight and call yourselves these think you're free thinkers, but you're just regurgitating different manifestations of the oppressor's tongue. You're just regurgitating things in a way that it sounds startling, but at the end of the day, it doesn't address what we're really fighting for. It doesn't. So at the end of the day, language matters, and you have to understand that if you want something, you have to work towards it. Liberation and freedom are not one-offs. See, if liberation or freedom was a one-off, we would be liberated and free now because we were not incarcerated or oppressed before. We would have never got there. But freedom and liberation requires constant vision. It requires a constant vigil also. It is the tools brought against it are constantly evolving. And the fight for liberation and freedom must constantly evolve with them. Bet that one hit close to home for some. Which one? Uh, right. Because some of us, you just have to realize that. Like I say, when you come of age in Mississippi, like I did, call Mississippi the heart of darkness, because the racism in Mississippi is so pervasive that you can smell it. It's in the air. You can taste it. It's in everything that touches your tongue. You can feel the literal oppression all around you. So when you come of age in that kind of environment, and people, I can hear people talking, and I can say, "Yep, that's a racist. That's a racist." I know misogyny so well because racism and misogyny go run hand in hand in Mississippi. These old white men, they beat their women, they mistreat them, they treat them like they're third class citizens until such time as they need them on a vote, and then they escort them out of the house. Mississippi, they want to keep them barefoot and pregnant. I know misogyny. I know misogyny noir. I know how black men in Mississippi have adopted the behavior of their masters and how they treat their women. I know it when I see it. I know it when I hear it. I know it when I smell it. So some of these conversations I hear about Kamala Harris, they're rooted in it. You're rooted in it. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, Petra, she's in, I know she's in the live. We've been doing this. We were doing this before there were cameras everywhere we went. We were doing it when it was just the two of us. We were doing it when we had problems with people that called themselves white liberals. We still did it. We are rooted in this. So at the end of the day, before you come to me with your newfound moral beliefs, when you over the age of 30, shut the fuck up unless you show me the work. Show me the work. Show me when you were getting thrown off the Supreme Court steps while the police were escorting racist bigots from Patriot Front right past you. But they're throwing you off the steps of the Supreme Court because you are there protesting against the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Show me the tear gas being thrown on you on the National Plaza during the 2020 marches for injustice. While then you turn around in 2001 and watch people breach the halls that you didn't even go near. You didn't even make it anywhere near that, and you got tear gas, but these people were allowed to breach the halls of Congress and got escorted out like they were on a tour after threatening to hang people. Where were you? Where were you at when we were in Minnesota? And I was stopping people from burning down residential housing. Where were you at when I was taking gasoline away from some of the very people that was supposedly they were standing side by side with me, but they were so mad that they were about to burn down a residential complex that would not do anything to our cause? Where were you at when hypothetically somebody pointed them in the direction of Target? Where were you at? Oh, where was Kamala Harris? Where was Kamala Harris? That's your question. Where was Donald Trump? I can play. I can. I was talking about me and my critique, but I can play deflection games also. Where was Donald Trump? Where was Donald Trump when they were marching in Charlottesville, and he said there are good people on every side, on both sides? Where were you at when he said that? Where was Donald Trump when he said shithole countries in Africa? I knew where he was, but where were you? You're playing this game with the wrong person. See, you can run along to these other podcasts, lives that give you a platform and won't cuss your bitch asses out. Y'all can do that. Because here, I speak from experience. And when I started this, I said, all of a sudden, you all don't want to vote for the lesser of two evils. Now there's a black woman. That's what I said. That's what I said. Because some of you all that were committed so much are showing me that you are just as dangerous as I thought you were a year and a half ago. Well, really, way more than that. But you're showing me you're just as dangerous because you're willing through your inaction to allow somebody that people like me are going to be still fighting and you sitting at home. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. All of a sudden, yeah, I have a moral qualm against voting for Kamala Harris because, she's not qualified enough. Okay? She's qualified more so than the last 4 men that held the office, at least. And I have to go back before that because I think Jimmy Carter was a governor. Jimmy Carter was the governor of, yeah, more qualified than Spiro Agnew. I can go through the list of 49 people that have been vice president, and she was more qualified than any one of them. So what do you mean by qualification? Yeah, she knows how to play the political game. And then for all of you all who make these innuendos, well, she slept her way to the top. And what's your problem? Marilyn Monroe did too. And thanks for keeping up with it for me, Olivia. But also for you all watching, if you want to be a part and you want to help us continue to do things like this and make it to places like Springfield or whatever we have to do, consider donating or consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us because we have projects that feed those who happen to be homeless, and especially in light of the recent court decision by the Supreme Court, which has made it illegal for homeless people to sleep in public spaces. We're having to move homeless people further off the grid, and we're having to buy more tents, and we're having to supply them with food on a supply line level. So, hey, please consider donating to the cause to help us help those in our community. Because, and like some people, I believe true revolution is not about stepping over those people just because they're laying on the ground. So, help. If you would like to help, here's how you help. That's how you help. And consider subscribing to the channel. $2.99 a month, $5.99 a month, whatever you can afford. But every little bit helps. I would prefer this way because that way it helps, but we share too much of it with the collectors. This way, most of it gets to where you need to go to. And, you know, and then, I'm gonna tell you, I remember. I know it seems like a long time ago, right? When we talk about the debate performance, and I remember watching the debate. As a matter of fact, I streamed it live. I streamed the debate live. It was before I had the radio show, and we talked about it. And I was listening to people talk, and I was like, "Did you all watch the same debate that I watched? Did y'all watch the same debate? I was watching people. I was watching these interviews after the debate, and I was like, "Are we watching the same thing? Are we watching the same thing?" I understand. Delusion is fine, you know, if it's about you getting if you're getting a date with somebody and you have no chance. But I'm listening to people talk, and then to point this out to them, they get mad at me. You get mad at me for saying split screen was the worst thing that you all could have ever done. You're mad at me. Exactly. But now we have an energized electorate. And if you all didn't do something before the August 19th, see, if you notice, if you know me, I referred to the Republican National Convention as the Legion of Doom convention. That's why I called it. I called it the Legion of Doom. And if you ever watch, if you know what the Legion of Doom is, you understand. So it should be a no-brainer to think what I'm going to call the Democratic National Convention. And it's a slight it, yeah, anybody know what I'm gonna call the Democratic National Convention? The same thing I called it in 2020 also. But yeah, if I call the RNC the Legion of Doom, what do you think the Democratic National Convention is going to be called? Any takers? Any takers? See, you see how yeah, this is Super Friends. Yeah, Hall of Jessica. It's a Super Friends. It's a Super Friends National Convention will be in Chicago, August the 19th through the 23rd. Yeah, 4 days. Yeah, no, not the 7th. No, there's none. We're definitely not calling it the 7th. And I say the Super Friends because if you understand the dynamic, the Super Friends should have been wiped out the Legion of Doom a long time ago. But because that moral compass they have is pointed in such a direction that doesn't reflect reality, that's why the Legion of Doom still exists. Yeah, there's no way that a Kryptonian cannot take out Lex Luthor. I don't care how smart you are. I will fly your ass into the sun. It's over. There's no reason that Cheetah shouldn't have been had her neck snapped by that magic lasso. There's no reason Joker is still alive. No, none. None. You got a billionaire white guy with plot armor and he can't take out the Joker. There's no reason. There is no reason the Legion of Doom should exist. So yes, that's why the Democrats are going to be my super friends, because they're super friendly when it comes to their enemies. Just like they turned down the rhetoric after what happened on last Saturday to Donald Trump. turn down the red. We're going to pull all our commercials. And let me tell you something. Laura Looper called Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee a ghetto bitch after she died. Do you understand that? That's what she did. She released a statement. Let me see. Let me see if I got enough time. Let me see if I can find that statement right quick. As a matter of yeah, she called her a ghetto bitch. A failed Florida politician who's never been anywhere near the Senate, the Congress, anything. Far right wing social media influencer had the nerve to call Sheila Jackson Lee a ghetto bitch after she died. 74 years old, been in Congress for 3 decades, representing Texas' 18th district, holding the line. And she had the nerve to call her a ghetto bitch. And I'm wondering, y'all didn't hear that? Y'all just gonna act like y'all didn't see that? Let me see if I can. Oh, yes. Hold tight. Hold that thought. Dun dun dun. Let's see. Might have to do it this way. Might have to do this. Probably is the easiest way. But right now, if you all are, you know what? I got a community guideline violation on that video. I can't even show that video. I got a community guideline violation on that video. All right. I guess guess we're gonna have to try something else. Yeah. I was gonna play the video, but I just found out I got a community guideline video. On the video. That's wild. Dun dun. Hold on. Hey, can you that's that's what we're doing? We're giving
Are
out
you
community
okay?
guidelines violations?
I'm better now.
Like that?
You seemed kind of down at
But
the party.
anyway, yeah, she called Sheila Jackson Lee. Right.
Let me explain to you
Hold
why
tight.
I will
I'ma
not be
show you.
turning down my rhetoric against any of these weak ass bitches, regardless of what has happened in the last 10 days. This bubblegum lipped, troglodytic, translucent glowworm escapee from the Caucasus Mountains by way of I got a bad Botox job to you why I will not be
Can y'all
turning
hear
down
it?
my rhetoric
Can y'all hear it?
against any of these weak ass bitches, regardless of what has happened in the last 10 days. This bubblegum lipped, troglodytic, translucent glowworm escapee from the Caucasus Mountains by way of I got a bad Botox job is Laura Loomer. She is a failed Florida politician who has rebranded herself as a social media influencer of the far right. And of course, you can see that she's a MAGA supporter. And this is the Queen Goddess herself, United States Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, who after a battle with cancer died on July the 19th, 2024. And this is what this troglodyte had to say after the passing of Sheila Jackson Lee. Now, this is posted on her X account, and it is still there. Even on her deathbed, this ghetto bitch couldn't keep President Trump's name out her disgusting mouth. I say rest in peace, but we all know lying Democrats who have destroyed our country are going to hell. Sheila Jackson Lee will be remembered as a destructive force in America and one of the most low IQ members of Congress in the history of our nation. Today she died. Instead of spending her final moments with her family, she was talking shit about Trump on X and spewing more lies. She won't be missed, but I'm sure she will still be voting Democrat this November. Good riddance. Now, we didn't start this fire, and most of you all are weak as ice water. You all turn down all the rhetoric you want to because most of you all won't bust a grape in a fruit salad. And while you all are having these kumbaya moments, they didn't get that memo because they're still coming for our throats. And the ancestors did not birth no fool here. I know my enemies, and I will be treating you all accordingly. Have the day you deserve.
Yeah. All right. Hold tight. I have to. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. I have to do that. It's like TikTok. TikTok be like, yeah, can you please? All right, there we go. We're back. Yeah. But yeah, that's what she said on about Sheila Jackson Lee. And thank you all for listening to me in GCPR. I'm gonna disconnect from you all because I'm over time, but I'll keep the conversation going here for a couple of more and answer any questions that you all have. So thank you, Olivia, for posting on time because I got to get, because I'll get to talking on this soapbox and I'll forget that I'm also doing a radio show that's only supposed to be for an hour and I will run over. Like people be like, TNathan, are you gonna let us have some radio time? Yeah, oops. But thank you, Olivia, for pointing out to me it was midnight. But that is where we are. That is, and now I can just respond. See, sometimes when I'm on the radio, I don't respond directly to the comment because or I have to read it because people on the radio can't see the comment. So that's why sometimes I just respond. I'll read it and then all right. So there we are, and you all have to remember we are at that intersection, and I'm not asking you to vote because we expect instant change. I'm asking you to vote this way because my fight, the fight of those who are out there in the field, will not be as difficult as it would if we also have to fight on every front. If we have to fight on every front simultaneously. And it's not enough for you all out here fighting with us for you all not to be able to vote this way for us. At the end of the day, like I said, all this talk of what you're not going to do and you're not out here fighting, I don't respect that. I don't respect it if you don't have the insight to understand that, yes, we've been trying to dismantle this system for years. For years. And where have you all been? At this point, it is right. I feel like that too, because anytime I want to say something, I butt into people's show and be like, "Hey, I got something to say," but we're we're up. You upset when once first announced? I can't hear. But were you upset when once first announced? Was I upset when what? Was I upset when Biden stepped down? You mean the thing I've been calling for since last year? Since his approval rating dropped below 40%? Was I upset to get exactly what I've been trying to get for a year? Yeah, don't follow me, do you? Yeah, my videos are still up. I told you all this was coming. If you follow me, you know I told you all during the devastating withdrawal from Afghanistan that was horrible. and y'all need to address it. I told you all, reminded you all that Joe Biden said he was going to be a transitional candidate and wasn't grooming anybody to take his place in the next 4 years. I'm mad that it took you all so long to listen. Tupac for president. What's up, foolish? What's up, foolish? Yep, foolish. That fits you. Yeah, that's what I was mad about. I was mad about it took you all so long to have these conversations that you should have been having. It took you this long to get to this point, and you have alienated a whole part of your electorate. I was happy as hell when Biden stepped down and supported Kamala Harris to take his place. He was a stopgag. I was glad he won. Now we need to move on. That's it. But it seemed like people forgot that, Laura. People forgot that that's why we were there in the first place. That was the compromise they made with us. They said, "Yep, we know this isn't what you like. We know it, but you know, we were still against Trump, and we say, okay, we need some compromises. This is what we need. I'm gonna be a transitional candidate. All right, you pick Kamala Harris to be your running mate. Like I said, all this, and I didn't support Kamala in the primaries. Don't get it twisted. But I didn't support her because she was a black woman. I didn't like. There were better. Bernie Sanders was the better candidate to me because he represented instant change to the system that I'm trying to dismantle. Corporation already putting money on. What corporations have been putting money into the pockets of politicians ever since you all didn't do anything about the corporate donation? Now you want to point out because a black woman is getting some money in her pocket that all of a sudden it's a different type of corruption that has already existed that some people have been fighting against. Where were you at when I was making videos talking about how we need to get legislation to stop corporations from being able to donate to it? Well, then you understand it hasn't happened. And at the end of the day, that's not the talking point because it has been the talk going on. So, yes, we should fight against it and we should stay the course on fighting against it. But like I say, at the end of the day, y'all been voting for the lesser of two evils ever since the 1965 Voting Act, since the 1920 Amendment for Women's Rights. We've been voting for the lesser of two evils because that's all you all do. But now that the lesser of two evils is a black woman, now all of a sudden, you all have a problem. Y'all have a problem. Cam, tell them again. And now all of a sudden, well, you know what? I say this again. See, this is my cash app. This is my cash app. Because I like to see how many of y'all put your money where your mouth is. When we do videos and we talk about we're out in the community helping those who have to be homeless, doing the donating to women's shelters, all of y'all talking about what corporations do, but you're not even willing to say, hey, let's help out the homeless. Let's help somebody that we know is helping them out because we see the videos. We see them out there doing the work. But you got the nerve to talk about what corporations are doing when they're showing they're protecting their best interests. They're protecting their best interests. And since you haven't changed the system, so I got all these people talking that talk, but let me check. Let me check something. Hold on, I'm checking something. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, just what I thought. Just what I thought. We talk about corporations, MAGA supporters support their candidate, but you talk about, and I'm not talking, Dana, I understand. I'm not even talking about the ones who don't have, but I'm talking about the ones complaining about what other people are doing, but they're not doing what they can do to even help the cause. And that's it, Laura. That's it. So don't come in here talking to me about she taking money from corporations when every president has taken money from corporations, and there's still going to be money in corporations because corporations are voting in their best interest with their money to support the candidate they want to see. That's a reality. That's a reality. And if you're not on the Supreme Court steps, if you're not doing protesting and trying to get legislation to change that, you're just talking about it on social media. Because you're not even supporting the causes you say you believe in. You do what you can. That's why I'm working as a public defender. It's how I can exactly. And almost an attorney, almost an attorney. Let me see something. To look at your page. Look at your page. Because at the end of the day, why you act shocked? Why do they act shocked that people you understand what an attorney does? You understand what the prosecution is. And when people would be talking about this is what got me. When people were talking about the Oscar case, right? Futon Station, Oscar Grant. Who did you think prosecuted the cop? They wasn't defending the cop. They brought charges against the cop. That's what didn't make any sense to me, right? It just shows how people don't understand how the very system they claim they understand works. Kamala Harris wasn't a public defender that sold her client out. She wasn't, not to mention that she wasn't even involved in the case, but she wasn't a public defender. She was in the DA's office. Can you say duh? All right. She was doing her job. She was doing what she was elected to do. We have a fucked up system. That's why I keep trying to tell you all. We have a fucked up system. And if you're just talking about it instead of protesting it, you're just part of the problem too. But at the end of the day, these are your choices. And you need to come to the reality. Here are your choices. Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. And you can say, I don't want either. That's fair. You don't want either. But don't look to me don't look to people like me when your ass is in trouble and all of a sudden you're wondering, well, what can we do? I'm gonna say you could have voted for Kamala Harris. And this part of the equation you wouldn't have to deal with. We could be focusing on this part of the equation. But now we gotta fight against book banning. We gotta fight for the rights of the LGBTQ community. We gotta fight for keeping our trans friends safe from the rhetoric of hatefulness. And on top of that, all the other things, we got to fight against the idea that politically people think tariffs are being paid by the country of origin of the goods or service that is being imported. Give me a break. Do you all understand that? Just say you don't understand. Just say you don't understand the issues and you need someone to explain it to you. Just say that. Because y'all are not making sense. Y'all not making sense. Yep, not at all. So tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why this is the hill you all want to die on. Because die you will. We're fighting for a true and accurate history to be taught in schools. We're fighting for representation. Right, Cam? I had to do a whole video about it. Hey Cam, I did the video in my white man voice, right? I did the video and I was like, yeah, I need a white man voice. So I had the voice clone me a voice. So I said, hey, this sounds like a white man. I'll use this. Because I think people listen to it better. That's how my strategy works. To get people to learn, I have to believe a white man is teaching them. Because that's what it is. Hey, in a for a lawyer office too. I was a campaign manager for she was running for judge, and I was also her opposition research guy. Yeah, because I didn't mind. I was the opposition research guy. So research is what I do best, even if it's, yeah. Yeah, I use the white man voice just because there was. I was like, let me put it out there because then somebody will say, "Yeah, I heard this." They're not looking at it on my channel. They just hear the white man's voice and they like, "Let me listen to this." Yeah, that's it. So had to trick them. Yeah, yeah, you have to. And then it's funny because I look at how many people have taken my videos and taken my whole script and pretended like it was theirs, like nobody knows my technique or my delivery. And people tell me, "Hey, did you do this?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, here's the video." I don't care. But for me, even with that, at the end of the day, the message is more important than the messenger. Right. And not only do I have Google, but I have libraries of books behind me. Can you all see those books? You see? These are all the books just right behind. Not to mention, you can see two screens in here, right? You see this screen and you see that screen in there. There's another screen right across here. There's a screen I'm on, and there are two more screens, not including my phone. I have two phones, by the way, not including my phone. Or my tablet. Yeah, because I constantly keep up with the flow of information. We constantly keep up because it's a privilege to not have to keep up with policy in this country. It's a privilege to understand that no matter what happens to marginalized groups of people in this country, you are safe. That is a privilege. I need access to it. Because I had it, but when I left Diane's office, I didn't have access to it anymore. So yeah, we do need access. I need access to a database so we can look up people that have unalive. We need to build our own database on these cops that have been involved in violence against marginalized communities and have not been held accountable for, and they just go find a job in another city. We need to build a tracking database. That's what I need. I need somebody so we can build a tracking database so we can enter these cops into the system, and then we can alert people in the area that they're going to that, hey, you have a killer cop in your facility. All right, Petra. Thanks. That would be greatly appreciated. There's a whole department in Cali that does that, so you can start there. That's great. I heard about it, but we need that. We need nationwide. We need a national database, and I need one, Cam, that is administered by us for us. I want one that is for us, by us. So we can do, and I want it spread out over multiple key points so people can access it and then right. So we need to keep up with it. We have to understand that even though I'm campaigning and telling you all what we have to do on November the 5th, I am also still the same guy who believes in dismantling the system and that we have to undermine it every chance we get. These are the things we have to do because this is called strategy. I don't care about your feelings. Yeah, if you're looking for somebody who's gonna care about your feelings and that don't align with strategy and reality, yeah, I'm not the guy. Petra, I care about your feelings if I like you, but even if you're my friend, I care about your feelings. But when we're dealing with the bigger issues, I don't care about what you feel. I care about protecting. I care about the strategy of how that protection looks. Because you all are used to following people that want you to run up Hamburger Hill into a grinder just to prove that you follow them. That's crazy. Shaka Zulu didn't do that. I model myself after great warriors and philosopher kings that value their citizens. I'm not going to ask you to go on a suicide mission because I'm too lazy to think of a strategy that gets you out alive. I'm not gonna say, well, I need you to go raid Fort Knox. You're not gonna make it out alive, but it'll send a statement. Nah, We got drones. I can send all kind of statement with a drone. Look at how many times that cop changed ops. Exactly. Ambitious. Exactly. And the community didn't know he was there. No, I want to build a database like the offenders database that people have to register in. And then when they move to a new community, everybody in that community needs to be notified. Yes, Cam, they have. My cousin had a job in a place in a city close by because it was outside the county. Good. Is he all right? He or your cousin? I don't know if you meant she or he, but are they safe and secure? Safe and secure. My question is, how many other innocent people has he killed and gotten away with? Look, right, because we don't have access to those records about what why did he leave those jobs? Because they write them, good. They made him come back. They arrested him. What? What they charge him with? What they charge him with? And let me share. No sound detected. Can you all hear me? It just told me no sound was detected. Are we clear? Are we good? No sound detected. And I want to share. I want to show some of you all. But some of you all don't understand. You think, dun, 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 hold tight. And this is just a little when I talk about what we do. We're gonna share. Just share. Because some people just talk about what they do. Some people just talk. Let's talk. Let's show. Where?
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for the meal for those who have to be homeless and my faithful sidekick, Jordan, you know, because she drives, I don't. And we're getting ready to pick up the rest of the supplies for those who have to be homeless and to get out and deliver the meal. All right, stay with us. We'll be back.
What I'm asking you all.
So, time to get the drinks. All right, let's start with the water. It's just water. Let's get it. Hey, mother. Is that you? Is that you? Yeah, nobody likes Perrier. Yeah, and I'm cheating on the dessert because Raven's not here. Cookies. Let's try these. 60 counts and giving 2 cookies a piece, 80. We need 160 cookies. Let's get it. Now, standing in line. And it's an overcast day. All right, car packed. All right, so it's time to get it. All right, let's get them something to eat, Jordan. All right, Jordan got the set. All right, let's get it. Man, I want you all to see this, right? I want you to see this. This is what we're doing in this country, right? This is, you know how cold it is here, and we didn't find him yesterday, but look at this. This man is literally sleeping with his dog on the streets. All right. People are sleeping in doorways, even after all we did yesterday, and there's still people out here. We're gonna get these people inside. So I'm making my way back here to show you the camp and how the snow affects it. All right, we moved everybody out of here. As you can see, we moved everybody out of here. So I come back here and check just in case. Now, on to the next one. Hi, Melinda. You go. You have a good one?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Let me see a sign. Yeah. Then we got to do something about this. So now we're going to the hotel. Well, motel, actually, that I was telling you all about. And here we are where we have put up everybody that we could find. All right. Got to make sure they eat also. Let's get it. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? What's up, big guy? You all right? All right.
I'm awake.
All right, he's awake. Let's get it done. And Jordan is out here looking like this. I'm out here
super dripped up in warm gear. And look at Dorothy. Look what she's out here in. Yeah. And her son. Look what he out here in. And he just said if he had flip-flops, he'd be wearing flip-flops. All right. Y'all have a nice day, okay? We're out of here. Mission accomplished for today. We got to do better than this, people. Yeah. Guess what we're doing? We're preparing the meal tomorrow for those who happen to be homeless. I got Raven here with me. Yeah. And her husband, Kaiser. Yeah. They came down from Missouri to help me with the meal. And they are, yeah, the cookies. Yes, we're bagging cookies up. And yours truly is cooking. Yeah, what does it look like? What does it look like? What does it look like? Yeah, if you say cornbread, you will be right. Yeah, okay. And milk. Got the eggs in there already.
Yeah, I can cook.
And then we're going to add the milk. Yeah, milk. All right, and, all right, started the 4 pans of cornbread for the, what do you think the 4 pans of cornbread are for? We'll be right back to them. Now, I'm also that guy, so I have to clean up between preparation for each dish. Now, it's time to prep the peas. Yeah. All right, peas.
I did
peas
cook for
prepped.
you, Petra.
And you know, I always cheat on the rolls,
You got
right?
to eat Thanksgiving food.
King's Hawaiians. Yeah, I'm not going to put these in the oven. Just getting them ready. Yeah, turkey defrosting. Already defrosted turkey. And of course, you can't cook without snacking, right? Yeah, and look at my usual help. She's just over here getting belly rubs while I'm doing all this hard labor. Oh, cornbread. Looking good. So, yes, the celery, onion, pepper mix to be serving. That'll be Raven, Kaiser. Do you know what today is? Yeah, today is the meal for those who happen to be homeless. Let's get it. And we're having lasagna. I just took these 2 pans out the oven. Yeah, Jordan mixed them up, and I, yours truly, baked them. Yeah, we have more to put in the oven also. Let's get it.
We cook.
Gloves. And we're putting these 2 in the oven. All right, yeah, on to the next stop. All right, one more. All right, let's get it. Jordan's getting the dog food. They're going to get a Scully, and I'm going to go back. Time to get the cookie.
Now, this was after I got the meal cooked, and then we did this. Hold on.
Yeah. Do you know what today is? And Jordan has got it. Let's get it. Jordan's getting the dog food.
Yeah, you can't forget the dog food.
Yeah, we bought you some food too. We got you. Hey, we didn't forget you. We got you. Protective. All right. Let's get it. All right, Jordan, get those. Good one, all right? Yeah, on to the next stop. All right, one more. All right, you enjoy, okay? We have dog food for him too. Yeah, I got you some dog food too. Hey, Jordan's gonna get you a tray, and I'm gonna get you something to drink. Socks. You need feminine hygiene products? All right, you have a good one, right? All right, thank you. Yeah, how you doing? Come on, bring the puppy with you. All right, those for you. No explanation necessary. There you go. Yeah, we got you some dog food too. Yeah, hold up. I didn't forget the dog food. Yeah. And Jordan's checking on to see if Mary's been arrested because we haven't been able to find her today. Hey, let's go to the camp. All right, come on, I got some food for you. Let's get it. Right. So here I am with... So today, well, you know what time it is. It's that time to get the supplies and the meals together for those who happen to be homeless. So let's get it. Okay, let's try this one. Assistance this month. We got Amy and David, and we're here at Miss Anna's, and they put this together for me, and I'd like to give a big shout out to them, right? So let's go do it. All right, first stop. All right, yes, everything. All right, one for you. Top one for you. There you go. And how you doing? All right, yeah, top one for you. Let me get you some drinks and some ice. I'll be all right.
Y'all have a good one. See you later. All right, off in the woods we go. The yellow brick road. There he is. There he is. What's up? What's up? Matt, what's up? So here we have Bella.
And this one, this is a metal melter
look
cane.
who I found, Nicholas. So we're going to let him pass the place. Turn right here, Nick. I just let him pass the place. We're going to get some
this is Nick.
donuts
It's
and
metal
coffee.
melter.
And we're going to go out and look at one of the camps of those who happen to be homeless. And
These
I gotta
are the
get some more
people that
dog
come
food,
out
too, so
when I need help.
Stand by. Ah, yeah. My favorite donut shop. Yes. All right, time to make the donuts. All right, we're gonna get some of these. Yes. We're gonna get a dozen of those. Yes. And we're gonna get some coffee. Cause what is donuts without coffee, right?
I want you to pay attention to this.
I will not forget dog food. I will not forget
Didn't forget the dog food.
Dog food. All right, here we are. Nicholas! Matt! Hey, that's a guard dog. A little tired today, huh? Yeah. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, right? This young man here, he was in Fort Smith County with me, right? Yeah, this is what we do out here. All right, and you grab the donuts for everybody. I grab the coffee. You see, Nick just took his shoes off and gave them to our guy, man. I would have took mine off, but they're too big. Man, thanks, Nick. Thank you. Nick just took his shoes off and gave them to my guy. Oh, man. So here we are.
Nick took the shoes
going back
off
and camp
his
with breakfast. All right.
Nick took the shoes
Yeah,
off
we bought you
his
some more
feet
food. We bought you some more food. Yeah.
and gave them
Oh,
to the
you're
man
beautiful.
because he didn't have any
Stay
shoes.
safe. So, yeah, we do this to inspire others to do what they can, right? You all make this possible about the trip going out. You all make this possible, right? And we deeply appreciate it. See this guy right here? He just brought tears to my eyes, right? Prince Daniels. Prince Daniels, you inspire people to get the shoes off their feet. Let's get it. Well, I thought it was bye, but I'm gonna show Nick we got another camp. All right, but you all take it easy, and well, he has no shoes on, so we have to be kind of careful right now. All right, peace, love, and hair grease. This is the one that was burnt out, and this is the one that was burnt out, and this one houses 12 people, and you can see they have the the water here, and there's another camp through there that I'm not gonna take you in with no shoes. Okay. I'll go there, but that's it. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be delivering. So as you know, if you follow me, so a lot of people are. So
You can go to my page.
So today.
And
Let me tell you.
So today we did the meals for those who happen to be homeless. And I know a couple of my brothers and sisters are going to be mad with me because they told me to get some rest. But did you really think I wasn't going to do this today? Anyway, because of COVID, we couldn't do the meals like we wanted to do them with everybody coming by and fellowshipping at the homeless shelter. So everyone that was able to came by and picked up their meals, and then the rest of them that are a little farther out, I'm going to deliver their meals to them. But let me show you what we cooked for them today. Okay, masked on. So here we have the turkey, the dressing, and some corn all smothered in a nice turkey gravy. I also have bread in another bag and pecan pie. Then we got a Sprite and some water. Now, because of COVID, I'm going to go park my truck and allow them to get all the food out on their own. And yes, brothers and sisters, I'm going home and I'm get some rest. This is my last act for the day.
Let me tell y'all something.
So you can go and watch these videos helping the homeless at the tab on my page, right? But I wanted to share this with you all, right? The last video, I got pneumonia. Yeah, I had walk-in pneumonia, and people were telling me to rest, but I'd already committed to the meal for that week. So Yeah, and I was on my ass for like a week after that. But I didn't have COVID. I had walking pneumonia because it was cold outside. I was in Arkansas then. That was in Arkansas. And uh, Nick, the one where you see with Nick, that's Metal Melter. He's in the comment section. Y'all go follow him. But Nick had came down and I was showing him the camps. And I mean, it's still to this day. Anytime I watch that video, it brings tears to my eyes because there are not many people who get what we do. There are not many people who understand. See, Nick understood. He can go get him some shoes later. I mean, yeah, he got little feet. I would have given him a pair of mine, but he can't. His feet would fit in one. Both his feet would fit in one of my shoes, right? But Nick understood that, and it's not that we're rich, not at all, not that we're rich at all, but he understood that we still have an obligation. I can't do this work and call myself anything when I'm not. I'm not fighting for likes. I'm not fighting for attention. I'm fighting for those who deserve more on every sense, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And how can I say that I'm a philosopher revolutionary king if I'm stepping over the very people who are the most impacted by the policies I say that I want to dismantle this system over? And then to have people like Nick, Prince Daniels, Raven, Kaiser, um, Carrie, that get it. That keeps me from thinking I'm talking into the void sometimes. That is what it does. You know, that how how you just gonna let Unc T talk about your feet? He got little feet. He do. It's true. It's not a, but he had the perfect size foot at the time because that's the same size that the man needed. The problem is, how do you explain empathy to those who don't feel it? I don't. I can't. I can't. I don't know how. And that is what gets me so much, that you cannot explain it. You either have it or you don't. I wear a 6 year old 6 year old. You see, that's what, and in all of this, understand that in all of this, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not miserable. I'm miserable. I'm not miserable. I hate the conditions. I fight against the conditions. But I also, it's like, you remember the scene? Anybody remember the Matrix? And they had just came in from fighting the machines, and they threw a party because that's what we have to remind ourselves what we're fighting for. We're fighting to be able to live that life. And we have to taste that life every now and then to get re energized and to not lose sight that we're not fighting to trade places with an oppressor. We're fighting to dismantle the whole system of oppression that leads to these conditions. That's what we're fighting. That's why we do it. We don't do it, like I say, people be like, I don't follow you anymore because this is not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure because the people that I truly know are about that life, they're still here. Right. Almost attorney, I've had people that will tell me they will center themselves from a position of never being hungry. They will center themselves. I was talking to somebody and they was like, we were talking to this guy and he was like talking, and I was talking about how he like, I grew up, I had to eat mayonnaise sandwiches. I said, you had mayonnaise and bread? Yeah, you had mayonnaise and bread at the same time? Mm. And you saying that from a position you're driving around now in a $75,000 car, living in a $500,000 home, and you can't spare $20. I met my classmates today, and I couldn't connect with them because they see healthcare as a job only. Yeah, not imagine meeting people who don't think people are entitled to healthcare just because they're homeless. Imagine meeting people that I'm at the VA arguing with. This man is a veteran, and you're denying him health care because he needs a bath. This man is this man was dirty while he was fighting, but all of a sudden you want him to go take a bath because you don't want him in here without a bath. That's your excuse. Shut the fuck up. That's why I go to these places. I go there and I know I'm going to have to cuss. No, I'm going to have to cuss. So when I asked you all to help, I'm not asking you all to help me. Hell, I got bills and I still got bills. And I don't use this money to pay my bills. As a matter of fact, sometimes, and most of the time, we do this out of our pockets. We do this out of this whole setup is because I have good friends. I have great friends. I get friends that share with me to allow me to be able to do this. I couldn't have did this on my own because every extra dollar I get, I usually am out doing something with it. I'm usually out doing something with it. And I won't change that. Like I tell people, when I decide to do a meal for those who happen to be homeless, I am going to do that meal whether anybody shows up or not. We're going to make it happen. We all should have access. That's one of my 4 pillars. Free access to health care. One of my 4 pillars of dismantling this government rests on the fact of free access to health care, freedom from hunger, free shelter, free education. Nobody in this country should have to worry about do they make enough to support for health care that is life-giving. Nobody in this country should have to worry about do they have a place that to sleep without having to sleep outside. Everybody in this country should have a universal income of a base level to make sure those things don't happen. That's a no-brainer. But we don't. We don't because people act like it's not their problem. People act like what we're fighting for is something distant. It's just like I feel the same way about people that don't understand why we fight for gun control until it happens to them. And then they wonder, why was nobody talking about this? Or why wasn't you listening? Why wasn't you listening? All of a sudden you get mad that people just sending you thoughts and prayers, but you were sending nothing but their thoughts and prayers to every massacre that occurred. Y'all come on the post. I see y'all under the post when I'm talking about something horrendous, and you all talk about thoughts and prayers. And I'm like, damn. It's just like when let's say I used to live in Arkansas. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders was the governor. And I watched her at the RNC, right? And she gonna say, God save Donald Trump. From the same weapon we've been trying to work to get out of the hands of just everyday civilians. God saved Donald Trump, but didn't think about saving the students at Uvalde. Didn't think about saving the victims of the top supermarket massacre. Didn't think about saving the children in Columbine. Didn't think about saving any of these other children. But I feel like, oh, what's up? What's up, pragmatic? I feel like those who never experience not knowing where they're eating, they just don't. Tell you, I didn't. I feel that, but I didn't have to experience some of the things that I fight against. I didn't have to experience. I'm not trans. I don't have a clue what it's like to have those kinds of feelings that are not validated by your own parents. I don't know what it's like to fight to be trans. And I still fight for the rights of trans people. All right, go file a claim. That's fine. That's fine. Federal court, file a claim. Y'all do that part. I got another part to do. I have another part to do. I hate when people devalue what I am talking about to talk about something else. Talk about what I'm talking about, meet me halfway, and then we can do that. Comment on what I'm saying at the moment. You're talking to somebody about federal court who is talking about dismantling the very system that federal courts exist in. At that moment, that's what I was talking about. My classmates say, right. My classmates say they want to do psychiatry because it's sad. Like, how do you think the kid? Right, right. Pragmatic, right. And that's it. I've heard people tell me that people that haven't lost somebody. This is why I told you I don't do certain people with their performative activism because they'll tell me, I used to get on people. People used to get on me. No, you people. I had this woman tell me after which it is so many. This was after Atiana Jefferson. It was after Atiana Jefferson was shot. And she was on a live. And she was like having a mental breakdown. White woman. Oh, I just can't take it anymore. I got to take a mental health break. I can't take it anymore. This one really got to me. She was with her nephew. And I'm looking. All these people commiserating, yeah, you do. I'm looking and I'm saying, what the fuck? It got to you? The death of this black mother's daughter got to you so bad, you got to take a mental health break. A white woman in America, you have to take a mental health break. This mother doesn't get to take a mental health break at the death of her daughter. No parent gets to take a mental health break over and it's affected you so much, you got to take a mental health break. The time when that mother needs somebody to be a voice for them, you who have not been deeply impacted, but you need to take a mental health break. Shut the fuck up. Thank you, Petra. Appreciate it. But shut the fuck up. Need a mental health break. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I don't get to take a mental health break until these mothers stop losing their children. I don't get to take a mental health break until we solve the problem of homelessness. See, we don't have the luxury to take mental health breaks. That's why I don't do allies. Allies, you all get to take mental health breaks. I get to take mental health breaks and nothing happened to you bad that day. You're just there and it gets to you. See, accomplices, they're too busy meeting me there or beating me there than to take a mental health break. I never had Nick call me up and say, you know what, TNathan, I just can't handle the fight. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, right? And I'm not gonna mention Miss Metalmelto's name, right? Because I'm not, because me and Nick would have to beat some people up. But I tell you, we were out the last time they were here. The last time Nick and his wife were here, we were out. And we had gone to Lowe's. Was it Lowe's? Yeah, that's what we got. We went to Lowe's, right? And it was a microaggression, right? It was a microaggression from this white man talking about, I look like I'm trouble. That's what he told me. Nick standing there with me, his wife standing there with me, and he tells me I look like I'm trouble. Before I could get to my comments, I'm looking at Nick's wife and I was like, oh, she gonna jump this man. I was like, we're gonna have to fight our way out of here. And then quickly I tell people, I was like, yeah, I can be trouble. I can be trouble. See, that's how accomplices are. Accomplices, they're not waiting for you to pat them on the back or give them the okay to do. They're already there. That's the difference. An accomplice, they don't get to take a mental health break because they know their friend, their loved one, is constantly having to deal with these microaggressions. I tell people all the time, and we was talking, is that if you really wanna, if you say you have a black friend, spend 24 hours with them as they move about the world. Spend 24 hours and see the microaggressions that we deal with on a regular basis. And you would wonder how we don't break people's necks on a regular basis. On a regular basis. So yeah, don't talk to me about you need a mental health day. Don't talk about me. You need a mental health day. Maybe this isn't the work for you. My patient is dying from a stab wound. I need to go do a break to heal from what. Right. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. But you got a knife. You got a knife 9 inches in your back. Let me go take a mental health break because this just seeing this is so traumatic to me. Captain Save a Hoe. Captain Save the Hoe. Yeah. So that's the work we do. That's what we do. If you want to be a part of that work, there you go. There you go. You ain't gotta. Like I say, you can go to the page. You go to the page. You follow the tab, helping those who are homeless, and you get to see exactly where your money is going. You get to see exactly where your money is going. I'm not one of those people who I know you're not going to see any faces of those who happen to be homeless, but you're going to see what we do. There are more on the page. It's more on the page that I forget to put under there when we're at the shelter, packing up supplies for those who have to be homeless. Yeah, that's where you go. Yeah, there's Nick. Nick, how you feeling? Is it that time, Nick? Are you feeling good? Yeah, Nick, it's almost midnight. Why you still up? I'll tell you. Usually, when people, oh, I've seen your face feed the homeless so many posts. Usually, like when Nick is here, he's asleep by now, right? And Nick is the only exception I've made to people falling asleep around me before I fall asleep when they here, when I'm around them, right? I don't really mess with Nick. Yeah, because Nick can get me back by like Nick. Nick can build anything, right? Yeah, Nick can build anything. So I leave him alone because I wake up in a contraption and be like, "Yeah, you want to?" Yeah, see, I just want to like put some shaving cream in his hand. I'll wake up and I'll be suspended from the ceiling or something. Like Noodle was feeding the homeless pre-COVID. So yeah, don't mess with people who can build contraptions that you have no idea how they were built in your sleep. Yeah, no. Nick is it's off season. I'm like, yo, we gonna mess with Nick when he sleep. I say, yeah, you go ahead. You better not never go to sleep around him though. You're gonna be suspended from the ceiling. People gonna think you're a ceiling fan. I'll say, oh, you have an interesting ceiling fan. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, if y'all like to be a part of what we do, um, that's how you do it. Go to the Beacon link. Even if you don't want to help me, go to the Beacon link. Send supplies. You know, this is my Cash App and Venmo, my PayPal, everything. And like I say, you get to see it. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. I mean, subscription to the channel, $2.99, $2.99 to $5.99, whatever you can afford. Whatever you can afford. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you all for joining us. I only ever intend to be live for an hour, like during the course of the radio show. But I like these after talks too. Um, I like the after talks. I appreciate it. It gives me a chance to vent and to hear you all. So we do those. I don't have 12 hours a day to spend on the live like other people do. I don't have 12 hours a day because we out life. I have two kids with disabilities. My sister lives with us. I do all. That's it. Laura, I'm not talking about the people who can't. This is not about people whose life is full. I'm talking about the people who complain about things and have the ability to do. Yeah, I noticed that, Laura. You keep saying that. I never said I'm not talking about the people who can. I'm talking about the people who can. All right. Can you build something for me? Almost attorney, I followed you. I'm gonna follow you so I can see your content, right? I just followed you. Hey, maybe we should hook up and you can give me. I always need advice about getting in trouble because I stay in trouble. It's what I do. I feel like Cruella Deville is like, yeah, I'm going to get in trouble, and I need good attorneys. I got several. I have a retired judge that I call and ask questions. I will call them in the middle of a protest, like I'm about to do something. Yeah, and pragmatic supposed to be my. See, pragmatic, he's like a militant. He's not a good lawyer to have as a militant, right? Because he gonna be, yeah, do it. Pragmatic be like, yeah, go ahead. We'll figure it out. And I'll be like, I'm not going to talk myself out of it. Uh, the white sus has exploded since Biden Harris and all. Right, it has. Yeah. But yep. Yeah. Pragmatic going to be like, yeah, yeah. Pragmatic, he's like, I'm just going to lose. I'm going to use my whiteness after I get there. But right now, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Right. All right, you all. Until tomorrow, y'all join us tomorrow, right? We'll be back here. We'll be doing the thing. And like I say, appreciate you. And y'all have a great night. And think about it. Peace.